如果有聖經咧，你可以打開馬太福音第17章。
If you have the Bible with you, please turn to the chapter 7 of Gospel Matthew.
我哋今個主日，我哋會繼續講聖經裏邊一啲嘅山上邊嘅經歷。
Today we will continue to talk about Jesus' experience on several mountains.
我哋講咗兩個關於舊約嘅山。
We have talked about or studied about the mountain mentioned in the
我哋
Old
今
Testament.
日透過呢一個嘅山，我哋可以預備特別紀念耶穌基督釘十字架。
Today, for this mountain, we will remember for Jesus dying on the cross.
今日講嗰個山咧，好特別，佢唔係因為個山個名字特別，而係曾經喺山上邊嘅經歷而係取名。
Today, the mountain we're going to study is not special because of the name, rather than is what happened in that mountain.
我唔知你中唔中意行山。
I'm not sure you like hiking or not.
行街就可能中意多啲。
Shopping, maybe you prefer shopping to hiking.
可能喺疫情嘅裏邊有啲人中意行山。
In the pandemic, lots of people like hiking.
特別啲人咧喺香港嘅時候咧，度度都冇得去啦，又限制啦，咁我哋就轉咗去行山。
Especially when there's so many restrictions indoors, so everyone go outdoor for hiking.
但係行山為乜嘢咧？
What's the purpose of hiking?
你估為乜嘢？
Why do people like hiking?
佢哋行山希望能夠野山捕獲，周潤發。
And lots of people like to find the famous star, 周潤發.
所以去到咧，去到嘅時候見到發哥一齊去打卡嚇，唔係你影啊，係佢揸機喎。
When they met 周潤發, when they hiking, they take lots of selfies.
哇！啲人見到周潤發啦，好開心啊
They're so excited to meet 周潤發.
我日日都要去啦。
So every day they try to
hike and see if they can
meet him again. Maybe because they try to meet 周潤發 and then change their habit.
弟兄姊妹，同樣地，當我哋喺上山上邊有一個特別嘅經歷，呢個經歷亦都可以改變你嘅一生。
Especially when there's a special experience you have in the mountain, then you may have changed your life.
門徒喺山上邊有一個經歷，呢個經歷亦都俾門徒喺當中有一種嘅成長。
And the disciples have such an experience in the mountain, so that helped their spiritual growth.
馬太福音第17章同埋路加福音第9章裏邊記載同一件嘅事，講到耶穌喺山上裏邊去變咗形象。
The Gospel of Matthew, chapter 17, and the Gospel of Luke, chapter 9, mention the same Jesus experience that Jesus transfigured in the mountain.
所以呢啲人都唔係好知道呢個山究竟係喺邊度。有人講係黑門山，但係啲人通常叫做變像山。
So even though people don't really know what's the exact name of that mountain, people just generally call it the mountain of transfiguration.
喺當中嘅時候，耶穌喺一個嘅情況轉咗形象，而門徒察覺到嘅時候，佢期望為耶穌、為以利亞、為摩西築三座棚。
So after the disciples saw the transfiguration of Jesus, then the disciples want to establish 3 shelters for Jesus, Moses, and Elijah.
究竟呢一個嘅經歷有乜嘢嘅意義？
And that experience of the disciple, what's the meaning of it?
呢個經歷對當時嘅門徒有乜嘢意義？
And for the disciple during that time, what's the meaning of that transfiguration?
呢一個嘅經歷對今日嘅基督徒，包括你同我，有乜嘢嘅意義？
Even the transfiguration happened in the past. What's the meaning for the Christian today?
弟兄姊妹喺你人生裏邊，有冇經歷到神嘅榮美、神嘅榮耀喺你嘅身上？
Brother, sister, have you ever experienced the God's blessing in your life?
呢一種嘅榮耀，呢一種嘅榮美，產生一種嘅震撼。
And just blessing or praise would cause some excitement in your life.
呢一種嘅震撼有幾大嘅影響喺你自己嘅人生嘅當中？
And this kind of blessing and glory of God what's the impact in your life?
呢種嘅影響係只係片段嘅影響，定係延續影響你一生，你基督徒一生嘅時間？
And those impact on you is just a short term or the lifetime impact on your Christian life.
嗱，今日又讓我哋睇馬太福音第17章、路加福音第9章嘅裏邊，我哋喺呢個山上究竟有咩嘅事情值得我哋今日基督徒要留意？
So from the Gospel of Matthew chapter 17 and Luke chapter 9, let's learn what's the meaning of the transfiguration.
嗱，你會留意咧喺呢段經文咧，馬太福音17章講到過了6天，耶穌帶着彼得、雅各嘅兄弟約翰，暗暗地上了高山。
So Matthew chapter 17:1 said, after 6 days, Jesus took with him Peter, James, and John, the brother of James, and led them up a high mountain by themselves.
上山做咩啊？
What's the purpose for getting to the
肯定唔係
mountain?
揾周潤發啦。
So for sure, it's not searching for children fat.
嗱，馬太福音裏邊咧就冇交代上山做乜嘢。
In the Gospel of Matthew, it didn't really mention the reason.
但係如果你
to get
睇
the
路加
mountain.
福音第9章嘅時候咧，28節裏邊咧，佢哋帶彼得、約翰、雅各上山去禱告。
So in Luke 9:28, it is said, purpose went up onto a mountain to pray.
嗱，呢一個嘅經歷咧，喺4福音嘅裏邊咧，常常出現。
And it is really common in about the 4 Gospel book to mention the same experience.
有時
of
耶穌
Jesus.
自己一個上山啦，去祈禱啦。
And sometimes Jesus just go by himself to the mountain to pray.
但係有時耶穌咧會帶埋門徒一齊去嘅。
And sometimes Jesus would talk also the disciple to pray.
特別我哋去記得係一個情景，就係客西馬尼園嘅情景。
And also we, especially when we remember what happened to the Gethsemane.
嗱，對當時嘅基督徒嗰班門徒有咩意義咧？
So for the disciple, what's the meaning?
耶穌叫你起身啦，我哋上山啦。
So Jesus asked the disciple, "Oh, let's go to the mountain."
門徒知道㗎。
The disciple understood.
你幾忙都要禱告陪你咧。
It understood that doesn't matter how busy, they will follow Jesus.
老師叫到唔會唔去㗎嘛，
Because the teacher asked, then they have to go follow.
明唔明啊？又係冇留意喎。
And they didn't pay attention.
我上去，得啦，陪耶穌上去啦，上去咪，你去祈禱，我哋咪瞓咯。
But they just only, okay, that yeah, we will follow you, Jesus. But when they get there,
嗱，我唔係
let
我
Jesus
屈
pray,
佢
but we
㗎
will-
嚇，即係你見到係客西馬尼園班門徒都喺度做乜嘢啊？瞓覺㗎嘛。
Remember what happened to the Gethsemane is that even the disciple was sleeping when
所以
Jesus was
門
praying.
徒同耶穌一齊祈禱，慣常嘅就係瞓覺。
Even though the disciple followed Jesus to the mountain to pray, but generally the disciples still sleep there.
你會唔會啊？
Well, would you did the same thing?
係嘛？有冇試過祈禱瞓覺啊？
We do the same thing. You
唔
fall
係祈禱之
asleep
前
when you're
瞓覺
praying.
喎，係祈下禱瞓着咗覺喎。
And when you're praying, then you fell asleep.
哎呀，經常都係咁啊
And it's not
嚇！哎
okay.
呀，如果
It's
你係
often
咁
like
嘅
that.，
你有資格做耶穌門徒，不過你可能忽略咗一啲嘢。
But you, at the same, you fell asleep all the time. You're praying, then you're the qualification as a disciple.
路加福音講到 正禱告嘅時候，他嘅面貌就改變。
And Luke chapter 9 mentioned, as he was praying, the appearance of his face changed.
幾時改變啊？
When the face
喺
changed,
禱告嘅當中，耶穌改變咗一種嘅形象。
when Jesus was praying, the appearance changed.
嗰班門徒做咩啊？
What they're doing during that time.
路加福音亦都講到，班門徒就打盹。
But the disciple was kind of sleepy.
弟兄姊妹嘅時候，好多時神佢嘅榮耀嘅彰顯係喺我哋冇懷疑、冇估到嘅時間就出現。
Brother and sister, the glory of God may reveal in the daily routine, even though when at the time that we didn't really pay much attention to it.
可以喺你好用心祈禱嘅時間，
Even though when you're focusing on the praying,
可以喺你好用心工作嘅裏邊，
and when you're focusing on
可以
working,
喺你好用心去侍奉嘅時候，
or you're focusing on serving the
或
Lord,
者可以好用心去思想神嘅話語嘅時候，
when you are focusing on meditating
係
God's
你
word,
想不到嘅時間，可能神就喺你面前俾你睇到佢嘅榮耀。
and it's the time that you don't expect, and God will let you to see, God may reveal His glory to you.
可唔可以喺講道當中咧？
Can it be during the sermon?
你話
Can God's glory be
咁你係冇
revealed
瞓覺
during the sermon? Then yes, then you should fall asleep.
個問題就係、原來喺當中嘅時候，我哋會察覺神喺不經意嘅情況將改變嘅形象，我哋要問自己一個問題：我哋有冇把握呢一個機會而睇到呢一個嘅榮美？
And we can see that during a routine time, that when you don't notice, God can transform Himself or change His appearance. Did we pay attention to that?
唔係神彰顯佢嘅榮耀，可能我哋彰顯咗，我哋冇察覺啦。
It's not God didn't reveal His glory. It's rather than we didn't pay attention. We didn't or we omitted it.
嗱，當耶穌改變形象嘅時候咧，好強調一樣嘢。
When Jesus transfigured, He emphasized one thing.
佢話面明亮如日頭，衣裳潔白如光。路加福音講到咧，衣服潔白放光。
So Jesus' face shone like the sun, and His clothes become as white as the light. Even the Gospel Luke mentioned as he was praying, and his clothes become as bright as a flash of lightning.
咁即係整體嘅時候，耶穌嘅形象係點樣啊？好光，
That means with the appearance of Jesus was really bright in that
好
time.
光，
It was really bright in the
光到衣
transfigured.
服可以變咗白嘅。
It's such bright that everything, the clothes become white.
嗱，弟兄姊妹嘅時候，
Brother, sister.
喺當中嘅時候見到，呢個改變嘅形象，見到摩西，見到以利亞。
So during the change of the appearance, they appear also Moses and Elijah.
摩西同以利亞做咩咧？
So what Moses and Elijah was
點解
doing?
喺呢一度嘅時間出現咧？
So why they appeared during that time?
嗱，馬太福音就講同耶穌説話嘅。
So the Gospel of Matthew just mentioned they were talking with Jesus.
嗱，馬太福音冇講到講乜嘢嘢，
The Gospel of Matthew didn't mention the detail about the conversation,
但路加福音就俾咗一個嘅備註。
but the Gospel of Luke mentioned
佢話：他們在榮光裏顯現，談論耶穌去世嘅事，就是他在耶路撒冷要成嘅事。
they will mention that appeared in glorious splendor, talking with Jesus. They spoke about His departure, which He was about to bring to fulfillment in Jerusalem.
喺當中講到耶穌嚟緊，佢點樣去釘十字架，點樣去受苦，讓耶穌知道。
So they talk about that how Jesus will be suffering and how will be die on the cross. So Jesus knew about
呢個係講到關於耶穌將來嘅事情，關於神喺耶穌身上嘅旨意嘅事情。
So the conversation was about the future of Jesus and about God's will.
弟兄姊妹，我哋好想期望神顯現榮光。
We really want the God to reveal His glory to us.
神顯現榮光總有佢嘅原因。
But we have to understand there should be a reason that why God revealed His glory.
神顯現佢嘅榮光總有佢嘅目的。
There must be a purpose why God revealed His glory.
個整體嘅時候係讓我哋能夠行喺神自己嘅心意嘅當中。
And the general reason is that we know how to walk on God's will.
如果你留意約翰福音第11章拉撒路嘅經歷，
So you pay attention to Gospel of John, chapter 11, about the experience of Lazarus.
哎呀，個拉撒路已經死咗啦，4日啦。
Lazarus passed away.
耶穌叫人攞開石頭。
And Jesus asked people to remove the stone from his tomb.
哎呀，跟住佢向天祈禱。
And then Jesus prayed to the heaven.
馬大都話：哎呀，耶穌已經死咗4日，臭啦，冇去。
Even when people say, oh, this passed away a long time, then there's no way that he can
耶穌同馬大講，佢話：我不是對你説過，你若信，就必看見神嘅榮耀啊！
Then Jesus said, did I not tell you that if you believe, you would see the glory of God?
耶穌跟住向天祈禱，
And Jesus prayed to heaven.
佢話：父啊，我感謝你，因為你已經聽我，我也知道你常聽我，但我說這話，是因為周圍嘅人站着的眾人，叫他們信你是差了我來。
Then Jesus looked up and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me, that I said this to the benefit of the people standing here, that they may believe that you sent me.
耶穌喺當中彰顯佢嘅榮耀，讓周圍嘅人能夠知道父神差遣耶穌，而加強佢哋嘅信心。
So God revealed his glory here so that they can, Jesus can strengthen the faith of the people there.
弟兄姊妹，你想唔想神喺你人生裏邊彰顯榮耀？
Brother and sister, do you want Lord, the God and
可
Jesus
能
to
呢個係
reveal
我哋
the
追
glory of
求
God?
嘅一個嘅經歷。
Maybe that's the experience we have been seeking for a
但係
while.
當你有呢個心嘅時候，請你問自己：
But you have that will to be
哎呀，
yourself.
我哋好想去經歷到神，好想神嘅榮光充滿嘅時候，為什麼？
So when we ask ourselves that we want to see the glory of God and we want to glorify God,
或者
why?
我哋會諗：神你嘅旨意係乜嘢？
And maybe ask why, what's the will of God and what's the purpose?
或者我哋會諗，可能當我哋嘅內心不斷期望神啊，我哋想尋覓你嘅旨意，好想了解你嘅旨意，好想行出你嘅旨意，神嘅榮光就喺當中充滿啊！
When we commit ourselves to search for the will of God and then commit ourselves to the will, then we can see the glory of God.
哎呀，原來神嘅榮耀嘅充滿係要鼓勵我哋係行出神嘅旨意。
And one of the reasons that God revealed His glory is so that we can follow the will of God.
保羅喺羅馬書裏邊提醒我哋，
So Paul mentioned in the book of Romans,
佢話唔好效法這個世界，只要心意更新而變化，叫你們測驗何為神的善良、純全、可喜悅嘅乜嘢啊？旨意。
Paul reminded that do not conform anymore to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is good.
我哋可以生命改變，
Our life will transform.
我哋可以彰顯生命嘅美麗。
We'll be transformed and see the beauty of our
你想
life.
唔想你自己更美麗？
Do you want to be more beautiful?
唔想，
You don't
想
want
嘅
to.
查咁多嘢。
You don't want to. Why you make up so much?
生命美麗，好簡單。
You want the life to be beautiful. It's very
心
simple.
意更新變化，
Your mind transform
你嘅生
and renew
命
your mind.
能夠活出神喺你嘅心意。
That's how your life is transformed by the renewing of your mind, so you can follow God's will.
你彰顯神嘅善良、純全、可喜悅嘅旨意。
So we can reveal God's will and this which is good, pleasing, and perfect.
你生命就美麗啦。
then your life will be beautiful.
弟兄姊妹，耶穌要鼓勵我哋生命可以美麗嘅。
Jesus told us our life can be very beautiful.
變化 transform.
Transform.
We have to transform.
You have to transform
弟兄
ourselves.
姊妹，今日我哋有冇繼續不斷地去改變，以致我哋生命彰顯神自己嘅榮美？
Brothers and sisters, have we transformed life all the time so that God's will, God's good will can be revealed?
弟兄姊妹，我好中意頭先唱嗰首歌。
Brothers, I really like the hymn
願
song.
主耶穌的榮美向我彰顯，表彰至純潔慈憐美善。OK， 大約咁啦。Let the beauty of Jesus be seen in me， 明唔明？彰顯神自己嘅榮美。
So we let the beauty of God be revealed in me.
呢個係一個咩情景？
What kind of scenes we can see from there?
喺馬太福音第4章咁樣話。
The book of the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 4, it mentioned.
彼得對耶穌說：主啊，我們在這裏真好。
Peter said to Jesus, Lord, it is good for us to be here.
哎呀，彼得都唔知點樣形容啦，
Peter just doesn't know how to describe the situation.
佢就只係用一個説話：真好。
He just simply said, good. It's good for us.
好到點咧？
How good it is.
你繼續睇下喎。跟住佢就話：你若願意，我就在這裏搭3座棚，一座為你，一座為摩西，一座為以利亞。
And Peter said again that if you wish, I will put up 3 shelters, one for you, one for Moses, one for Elijah.
點解佢哋會咁樣諗咧？
So why Peter think this way?
同真好有咩關係咧？
What's the relation with this is good?
嗱，你試下你經歷啊，你去 shopping，
Let's imagine.
哇！呢樣嘢真好啦，
This item is really good.
你下一步就會點啊？
Then what's next?
啊，買咗佢啦，
You will buy it.
明唔明啊？如果我哋見到真好嘅嘢嘅時候咧，我哋就好想咩啊？擁有住佢，
So when we see something really good, then we try to grab it and try to own it.
私有化呢種叫做。
And we're going to try to own it by ourselves.
嗱，呢個係反映緊人性一種嘅情況。
So Peter's word reflect one of the human nature.
當人好想找住一啲嘅嘢美好嘅時候，我哋好想只係用各樣嘅方法攞住佢。
It's a human nature that we use our own way to hold the good forever.
呢個係人性。
This is the human nature.
但係我哋有冇諗過呢個係咪神嘅心意？
But did we know if this is the God's will?
如果係嘅話，
If this is God's will,
你有冇諗過將來會點？
then what will the future?
彼得、雅各、約翰，佢以後一生就喺呢個變象山裏邊做苗族咯。
With Peter build a shelter, then Peter, John and James will be on the Mount of Transgression for their lifetime.
啲人就成日期望去到呢3座棚嘅裏邊，左拜右拜，唯有榮光，下次嚟再光。人生裏邊就不斷期望上到翻呢一度嘅時候，去尋找咩啊？榮光。
So everyone just go to the mountain of transgression to search for the mountain of transfiguration to search for the
你人生就只係喺呢個山去到你屋企，呢個山喺你個屋企，咁呢你人生裏邊就不斷期望失望，期望失望。呢個係咪神俾你嘅旨意？呢個係你自己揾翻嚟嘅旨意嚟嘅啫。
Then people just have the pattern that only go to worship in the mountain of transfiguration, and is that the will of God?
點解佢哋會咁樣講？
Why we said that?
你留意下第33節，
We pay attention to verse 33.
他們卻不知道所說的是什麼。
And we mentioned that he did not know what he was saying.
唔知應唔應該，但係中意講。
They did not know, but they still.
呢種係咩嘅情況？
They didn't know what saying, but they still say it. Then what's the situation?
你唔好忘記32節講乜嘢。
Remember what it mentioned in
彼得
32.
和他同伴都打盹，既清醒，跟住見咗兩個人，跟住又講嘢啦，都唔知自己講乜。
So verse 32 said, Peter and his companions were very sleepy, but when they fully awake, that they saw two people, and then they even don't know, because they kind of sleepy and not really awake, they don't even know what they're talking about.
嗱，我唔知你有冇試過你屋企人
I'm not sure you have experienced that,
同你講咗嘢，你唔記得。
that someone talked to you, and then you even
我
can't
意思話
recall.
即刻有啊，咪同你講咗啦，你答咗我㗎。
I to mention to you, and you answer it too, but how could you
幾時啊？
can't remember?
今朝咧，明明你醒咗㗎，
When did that happen? Oh, just this morning, and you awake.
你明唔明嗎？人喺自己唔清醒嘅時候講嘅嘢嘅時候，好多時我哋唔知道自己講乜嘢。不過認咗你啊，快啲走啦，等我再瞓啫嘛，係咪？
When we don't really have a clear mind, then we just respond, we wouldn't understand what we have to respond.
人喺自己唔清醒嘅時候，往往做錯一啲唔應該嘅決定。
When mind is already clear, so we could make wrong decisions.
弟兄姊妹，
Brothers and sisters,
今日我哋嚟到上帝嘅面前，
today we come before the Lord.
如果俾你見到咁樣嘅情景，你會點樣去做？
But you have seen all this situation about the
或者
transfiguration.
我哋作為一個基督徒，我哋應該點樣做？
How you respond, or how will you as a Christian to respond?
如果我哋只係隨我哋嘅心去做，或者我哋是但去做嘅時候，換嚟嘅嗰班門徒就係俯伏在地而極其害怕。
We just follow our own mind to do whatever, then what the consequence would be like the disciples.
有時我哋
They're afraid.
我哋嘅心嘅裏邊，我中意唔中意，我哋做一個決定，換嚟嘅時候可能有好大嘅後悔。
So we just make a decision with a clear mind, then we will regret all the decisions.
或者可能我哋一啲嘅做法，知道未必係神嘅心意，我哋換嚟嘅係一個好大嘅恐懼。
Or we just follow our heart while we know this is not God's will. Then what we experience will be all the terrifications.
喺呢一個經歷嘅裏邊，最精警嘅喺第5節裏邊，當佢哋説話之間，
And all this, and the most interesting thing is mentioned in verse 5.
佢話忽然有一朵光明嘅雲彩遮蓋他們，且有聲音從雲彩裏出來說：這是我的愛子，我所喜悅的，你們要聽他。
Verse 5 said, when he was still speaking, a bright cloud enveloped them, and a voice from the cloud said, This is my son whom I love. With him I will well pleased. Listen to him.
父神真係一語中的，
The Heavenly Father is just really clear to mention.
你唔好講咁多啦，
Mention that you should not speak
你都
anymore.
未瞓醒。
You're not even clear in your mind.
如果跟你嗰個山拉主義，真係害死耶穌啊！
If you follow your suggestion, then will be really have a very bad consequence to Jesus.
父神講咗一句説話：你們要聽他。
So Heavenly Father just simply mentioned you need to listen to him.
我哋去聽神自己嘅聲音。
We should listen to God's voice.
喺我哋人生嘅裏邊，我哋好期望神聽你嘅聲音。
In our life, we expect God will listen to us.
我哋好期望懇切祈禱，期望神聽你嘅聲音。
We eagerly pray to the Lord that Lord listen to us.
神聽我就最好。
We Lord listen to us and follow us.
如果
then
神
we'll
唔
be
聽
best.
你咧，
If Lord didn't listen to us,
我哋咪唔會話俾人聽嘅，祈少啲禱咯，
then we will tell anyone, but we will
慢
okay.
慢唔祈禱咯，
We will just pay less. We will
或者
even not
祈
even
禱
praying.
冇信心咯。
And we don't even have the faith to pray.
個問題係咩啊？我哋只係期望神滿足你 而唔係我哋喺祈禱嘅當中，我哋安靜到上帝嘅面前，神啊，你想同我講咩嘢？
The issue here is we want to God follow us or provide us what we want rather than we listen to God what you want us to follow you.
保羅講到基督徒真係軟弱，有時軟弱到都唔識祈禱。
Paul even mentioned that sometimes the faith of the Christian is so weak even though they don't know how to pray.
你會唔會咁啊？
Would that happen to you?
有時軟弱到都唔想祈禱。
Our faith is so weak that even
有時
don't want to pray
軟
anymore.
弱到我哋都唔知點祈禱。
Even so weak that we don't even know how to
有
pray
時
anymore.
軟弱到喺祈禱，我哋都唔知講緊乜嘢。
Even so weak that even though we're praying, we don't know what we're mentioning.
保羅喺羅馬書裏邊講到，聖靈用說不出嘅嘆息為我哋祈禱。
So Paul mentioned in the book of Romans that spirits intercept for these things in accordance with God's will.
聖靈按着神嘅旨意為我哋祈求。
The Spirit intercept for this thing in accordance with God's will.
神嘅聖靈嘅祈禱係叫愛神嘅人得益處。
This prayer for the Spirit is work for the good for those who love Him.
弟兄姊妹，呢個經歷對門徒要學習一樣嘢，唔係我哋期望神滿足我哋、聽我哋，而係我哋謙卑自己嚟到上帝嘅面前，我哋要聽從我哋嘅神嘅吩咐。
So the Lord, for the disciple, let us know that it's not what we want God to listen to us, rather than how we should listen to the God, so we know His will.
冇錯，我哋會有掙扎，
For sure, we have struggles.
我哋有期望。
We have expectations.
耶穌有冇？有。
Even Jesus have the expectation.
面對咁嚴峻嘅嗰十字架嘅逼迫受苦，真係唔容易嘅。
When Jesus was facing all the persecutions, it's not easy for him.
耶穌講可以嘅話，將苦杯攞開啦。
Even Jesus mentioned, "Yet not as I will." If it's possible, may this cup be taken from me.
但係耶穌跟住講，然而不要照我嘅意思，只要照你嘅意思。
But however, what Jesus mentioned, said afterward, "Yet not as I will, but as your
你可唔可以
will."
將你嘅心事話俾神聽？
Can you tell your will to God?
可以喎，
Yes, you can.
但係請你講完之後加多一句。
But you should add one sentence after that,
真心加句。
and add that one truly through your heart.
然而，不要照我嘅意思，只要照你嘅意思。
With your mind that yet not as I will, but as your will.
當我哋期望神榮耀嘅彰顯，係引導我哋學習去聽從我哋嘅主嘅吩咐。
So when we expecting God revealing His glory, His glory is for us to listen to God's will.
路加福音就停喺呢度，
The book of Luke stopped at this point.
但係馬太福音佢加咗一個嘅情景嘅出嚟。
But the Gospel of Matthew add one more scene to it.
呢個情景就係耶穌同門徒一個嘅對話。
And this is about a conversation between the disciple and Jesus.
嗱，門徒咧就開始問耶穌一個問題。
And the disciple asked Jesus,
佢話：文士為什麼說以利亞必須先來？
"Why then do the teachers of the law say that Elijah must come first?"
點解門徒無端問呢個問題咧？
Why did the disciple ask this question?
嗱，咁我哋好容易會聯想到，當耶穌變像嘅時候，有兩個人物出現啦嘛。
When we think about it, then there's two persons appear during Jesus' transfiguration.
邊兩個？
Who they are?
唔係咁都唔記得啊
Who they were?
第一個
The first one,
摩西，
Moses.
第二個
The second one
以利亞。
was Elijah.
咁 我哋就會發覺門徒問嗰個問題係源於佢哋所經歷嘅情況啊嘛。
Then the question the disciple asks is related to what they have experienced before.
而呢個經歷，佢見到以利亞，冇錯係講關於耶穌將來喺耶路撒冷嘅經歷。
When they saw Elijah, is about the experience of Jesus in Jerusalem.
但係佢裏邊又產生個疑問。
But then there's a question from the disciple.
點解我見到以利亞嘅？
Why I saw Elijah?
以利亞唔係遲啲先嚟。
Should Elijah become later?
佢哋問得啱嘅喎，因為喺聖經最後一卷舊約嘅書卷裏邊，馬拉基書第4章最後講到：看啊，耶和華大而可畏日子未到之先，我必差遣先知以利亞到你們那裏去。
Actually, the disciples were asking the right question because, as mentioned in the book of Malachi, that see, I will send you the prophet Elijah before that great and dreadful day of the Lord comes.
所以你會發覺門徒呢一個問題咧，問得好唔好啊？問得好。
You may notice that actually the question from the disciples is a quick question.
有意思。
Was a meaningful question.
唔係亂講嘢，因為佢瞓醒㗎啦嘛。
Was just meaningless.
問得好有深度。
And this is a good question.
明白？所以你會睇翻嘅時候，呢一個經歷帶到班門徒嘅時候，佢哋識問嘢喎。
And that experience have lead them to ask the right question.
佢哋唔係有個問題就擺低嘅就算啦，佢哋真係好想去了解點解會見到以利亞㗎。
And they have led them to raise a good question why they saw Elijah.
耶穌變像嘅經歷帶俾當時嘅門徒開始去尋找一啲屬靈嘅事情。
The transfiguration of Jesus had led the disciple change to seek for the spiritual issues.
明白？弟兄姊妹，今日喺我哋禱告，喺我哋人生嘅經歷，我哋追求成長，我哋係咪越嚟越懂得捕捉，唔去尋找一啲真係屬靈嘅事情？
Brothers and sisters, during our spiritual growth, we know how to seek for the spiritual issues.
聖經第12節裏邊咁話。
So, verse 12 mentioned.
耶穌話：我只是告訴你們，以利亞已經來了，人卻不認識他，竟任意待他。人子也將要這樣受他們嘅害。
So verse 12 said, But I tell you, Elijah has already come, and they did not recognize him, and have done to him everything they wished. In the same way, the Son of Man is going to suffer at their hands.
耶穌嘅答，佢話：以利亞已經嚟咗，不過人真係好殘忍嘅對佢。將來耶穌都係咁。
So Elijah had already come, but they prosecute him, and the same thing will happen to
你跟住
Jesus.
問耶穌乜嘢？你點樣回答？
Then you're the disciple. What you would ask next?
耶穌啊，我最想知係邊個啫。
So Jesus, I just want to know who had already came.
你明白嚇？我哋唔使諗㗎，我哋仲直接俾佢答案你咪得啦，係咪？
So Jesus, just give me the answer.
耶
Don't
穌冇
just
答，
think too much about it.
冇正面答佢喎。但係只係耶穌話：以利亞已經嚟咗。
But Jesus didn't answer the question directly, rather than tell them that Elijah had came. Now come.
但班門徒知唔知邊個？
But did the disciple know who
呢班門
Jesus was
徒
mentioning?
嚟咗。耶穌你講緊施洗約翰。
Then the disciple realized that Jesus was mentioning about John the
施
Baptist.
洗約翰嚟為耶穌開道路啊！
John the Baptist came to open the way for
嗰班
Jesus.
人捉咗施洗約翰坐監。
But the Jewish caught
好難
John the
一班門
Baptist
徒答得咁準確啊！
to present. And this is really
你
rare
話佢
that
哋係咪醒少少啊？
it's
好
not,
醒喎！
It's
係
not,
咩事情成啊？屬靈嘅事情成。
it's not very often that the disciple answer the question right,
原
but
來呢一
this
個
time
經
they're
歷
right.
唔單止引導嗰班門徒去追求屬靈嘅事情，更加幫助佢哋去明白屬靈嘅事情啊！
And they realized that the experience of transfiguration not just led the disciple to
追
ask,
求
but also
唔
understand
困難，
the spiritual issues.
明先至困難。
Seeking is not difficult to understand; it's more challenging, but difficult to do it.
你查經唔困難，明白呢段經文對你有咩幫助，先至困難啊嘛，係咪？
Reading the Bible is not difficult, but the Bible study to understand what that applied
我
to
哋查
you.
經係為咗想明白，想喺我哋靈性繼續嘅追求啊嘛。
And the reason we study the Bible is understand meaning and then how so we can trace or seek for the spiritual change.
耶穌鼓勵當時嗰班門徒
So Jesus encouraged the disciple
喺馬太福音第24章，
in the Gospel of Matthew chapter 24.
門徒問關於末世嘅情況。
The disciple asked about the end time.
耶穌講咗末世嘅情況，民攻打民國咁嘅個好多嘅情況會出現，假先知啊、敵基督都出現。
So Jesus mentioned a lot about different things will happen during the end time.
耶穌喺最後加咗一啲嘅備註。
And then Jesus adds some footnote about the descriptions
喺無花果樹學個比方，
and use the fig tree as a parable.
你睇到樹枝發亂長葉嘅時候，你就知道夏天近了。同樣你睇到呢啲嘅事嘅情況，你就知道人子近了，正在門口。
So Jesus said, now learn this lesson from the fig tree. As soon as twig get tender and this leaf come out, you know that summer is near. Even so, when you see all these things.
兄姊妹，當我哋去追求睇神嘅榮耀，或者我哋經歷神嘅榮耀之後，我哋有冇將留意到呢個時候嘅情況，同神嘅心意，同神喺你嘅心意，期望你嘅回應有咩關係？
So we seek for God's or experience God's revealing His glory. Then how we will to relate to your spiritual life. And
如果我哋追求神睇到神嘅榮耀，我哋追求祈禱完咗，我哋又係要照以前嘅一樣，對我哋生命冇改變。
when you seek for God's revealing His glory and doing the prayer, but our life didn't change, then there's
我哋好似保羅喺哥林多書信裏邊講，我哋只係一啲屬血氣嘅人。
then it's just as mentioned by Paul that we just belong to the world.
如果我哋嚟到上帝嘅面前，我哋能夠有一個追求神嘅心，我哋心靈裏邊能夠有一種嘅嚮往屬靈嘅事情，更加我哋能夠明白屬靈嘅事情，將現今嘅情況同神嘅旨意扯上一個關係，改變你嘅生命，能夠你更加活躍、更加委身喺神嘅面前，呢個係神嘅心意。
We're changing our lives so we can understand God's will and also follow His will. Then we will transform our life.
唔單止睇到神嘅榮耀。
Thus, if we can see the God's
讓
glory,
每一個屬靈嘅經歷係幫助你成長，
and let all the spiritual experience to help to grow your faith,
讓嗰個屬靈嘅經歷成為你人生一個嘅轉捩點。
and such that there was a turning point of use the spiritual experience as the turning point for your life,
讓你生命更委身，
so that your life could be more
讓
fulfilled,
你更懂得聽從神嘅旨意。
so that you can listen to God's will.
喺一個變像山嘅當中，
In the mountain of transfigurations,
神去領受神嘅心意。
Jesus tried to let us to seek for God's will.
門徒被提醒要聽從神嘅心意。
The disciples reminded they have to listen to and follow God's will.
今日你同我都要嚟到上帝嘅面前，學習去追求屬靈嘅事情。
Today, all of us has to seek for about the
將
spiritual issues.
你肉體嘅事情，
Put aside
將你嘅私欲嘅事情，
put aside our own desire and
將你個人嘅野心嘅事情，
put aside our aggressions,
掟喺十字架當中，
and should nail all this on the cross.
用心去向主發出嘅回應。
Use our heart to respond to our Lord.
我喺呢一度，
I'm here.
我願意聆聽，
I'm willing to listen.
我願意將我嘅心意話俾你聽。
I'm willing to tell you what's my feeling and will.
但係神啊，你請你記住，
But Lord, please,
唔好照我嘅意思，
but do not follow my will,
只要照你嘅意思而行。
and let us to understand and follow your will.
呢個屬靈嘅經歷幫助門徒更加追求屬靈嘅事情。
And that spiritual experience have helped the disciple to seek for the spiritual issues.
弟兄姊妹喺你嘅基督徒嘅人生嘅當中，
Brothers and sisters, during your Christian life,
我哋會追求經歷神。
we will for sure we seek for the Lord.
當我哋經歷神，係期望乜嘢？
When we experience the glory of God, what we are expecting,
期望我哋每一步
expecting every step of us,
都能夠行喺主嘅腳蹤嘅當中。
that we can follow the path of the God.
讓我哋一齊起立唱一首詩歌作為回應，跟隨主 step by
Let's stand and sing the response song step by step.